Despite reports and rumors, Robert Pattinson will not be the DCU's Batman. Welcome to Retcon. So apparently, Robert Pattinson is not going to be the DCU Batman after much speculation, partly fueled by James Gunn, a part of I can't remember the name of the podcast, but Josh Horowitz, and saying that he did consider adding Robert Pattinson to the DCU as this universe's Batman. There's been a lot about Batman in the DCU. Obviously, quite a while ago, James Gunn announced that the Batman movie would be entitled Batman Brave and the Bold. That kind of explores his relationship with Damon Wayne, his son. And it sounds really cool. Andy Muschietti is attached to direct said movie. Now, he did direct The Flash, which, I know it's against popular opinion, but I actually quite enjoy The Flash. I watch it every now and again. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's an emotional movie. There are things about the movie that I did not like. I think most people point to the awful CGI. We can all agree that was awful, but the movie itself, listen, was it the greatest movie? No. Is it in my top 10 of comic book movies? No, but maybe it's in my top 5 of DC EU movies, right? And so I really enjoyed that movie. But Andy Muschietti, who directed that, is set to direct Batman Brave and the Bold for the DCU from James Gunn and Peter Safran. So when these kind of reports started to circulate about, would Robert Pattinson be Batman or would he not in the DCU, there's a lot of conjecture that kind of started online about, does it make sense and all of that stuff. And then Matt Reeves recently on the red carpet for the Golden Globes, he kind of added a bit of fuel to the fire by stating that, he said, I guess to some degree it's a possibility, right? If it makes sense, it's a possibility. And I know, much to the chagrin of a lot of people, it just kind of put fuel on the fire to, the idea of, at least, of Robert Pattinson being a part of the DCU. Now, my own personal opinion, why not? Why not? I understand people saying, well, it doesn't fit into the, I can't even say the word, the fantastic idea of what Batman in the DCU would be. Obviously, we saw the Superman trailer, and the Superman trailer showed us, a kaiju that Superman is fighting. So there are fantastical elements in this DCU, and James Gunn said as much when he introduced the idea of what the DCU would be from him and Peter Safran. But to me, right, the Reeves verse, although it has a depiction of a quote unquote realistic Gotham, we really have only gotten one of the ground level villains in the Riddler, right? So if you read the comic books, if you see the different iterations of the Batman mythos and the Batman world, there are characters like the Riddler, who's grounded, Two-Face, who's grounded to a degree, Joker, who's grounded, so on and so forth. There are tons of characters that can fit into a real world circumstance. But then you have characters like Clayface, and we do know Clayface is in development right now for the DCU, and he's a character that exists within the same framework of all of those other characters. So the story that you tell can be as fanciful. I think that's right. I think I got it. As you make it. It's about the story that you write. Now, Robert Pattinson is Batman. I think that aesthetically, some things would have to change. Obviously, he would have to bulk up a bit in those things, but the character itself, it's Batman, right? It's Batman. As realistic as we want to make it, there's a guy flying around, gliding around Gotham, dressed up like a bat. So there are liberties that you can take regardless of what we think is already established, right? So I wouldn't mind at all. But recently, Andy Muschietti, he had something to say about it. Apparently, he was on a radio show in Argentina, I believe, and he had some things to say regarding Batman in the DCU. Now, this is according to Collider. But he said it's quite obvious. The Brave and the Bold director crushes the dreams of Robert Pattinson fans. It reads there are many murmurs about bringing Robert Pattinson's Batman being a part of James Gunn's new DC universe. While Matt Reeves is hard at work preparing to film the Batman 2 this year, Gunn has previously revealed plans for Batman the Brave and the Bold for his own interconnected universe. The Flash director, Andy Muschietti, is set to helm the feature, which is taking its own sweet time in the development phase. However, the two movies, being DC IPs, won't be released too close to each other. In an interview, Muschietti spoke about plans for his movie and whether Pattinson would be the Batman of the DCU. The director noted that it will be quite obvious that The Dark Knight and The Brave and the Bold is not the same Batman from the Batman Part 2. He goes on to say, as everyone knows, the Batman featured in The Brave and Bold will belong to the new DCU universe. I highlighted here, it's quite obvious that Matt Reeves' Batman is not part of this new universe. Muschietti explained during an interview with Radio TU show, potentially squashing all hopes for seeing Pattinson in the DC universe. Furthermore, he noted that given Reeves' sequel was recently delayed from 2026 to 2027, Muschietti said it will take time until The Brave and the Bold is released because it would be absurd to release two Batman movies in the same time. He further explained the studio's release strategy for the two, explaining what DC is doing. It's creating a strategy to ensure that these two films don't conflict with each other. As far as my participation in the film, there are good intentions. I want to make the movie, and we're talking about ideas and story tone. I can't say anything, but it's going to be great. That's what I can tell you for sure. Yeah, I mean, I see all of this. I'm with all of this. Here's my concern, right? So Reeves, 2026 to 2027 for the Batman 2, which is fine, which is great. Now, what happens if Superman comes out and is $1 billion smash, right? What happens then? What do we do? And I know Supergirl is next in line, which is fine. But if Supergirl is a hit, what do we do? That's 2026. Okay. Now, do we wait until, 2028, 2029 even for Batman, the Brave and the Bold? I'm not quite sure how that works. Batman, without a doubt, is another cornerstone, along with Superman, of DC, right? And so people are more than excited about Batman joining the DCU, not to mention how he was teased in Creature Commandos, which, if you saw any of the response online, was a big deal. And I myself, as the resident fanboy of Batman, I can tell you right now that when I saw that, my hope was that we would be seeing the Batman in the DCU sooner rather than later. So listen, in the comments below, let us know what you think. If you have not, please, please, please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when Retcon Comics post a brand new video. And thanks for joining.